Greetings, I'm Rob Chapman.
And I'm the captain.
Together we make Chaptin.
Chaptin. Oh, shoulder's knackered still.
Oh,
Sorry.
mate.
No, it's fine.
How did you put your shoulder out?
I don't know. I've been
carrying all these
having,
incredibly heavy Gibson guitars.
Serious osteopath stuff on it. I think she said I might need traction to try
you really have hurt your shoulder?
Yeah, I really have hurt my shoulder.
I thought you were joking.
No, really have hurt my shoulder. But it's okay.
You know what I think it is?
What is
I think it's carrying grace.
It could be carrying grace. It could be... It's not 2018, but it is 2018.
It's 2018 now.
2018 in Gibson land. Because, as you guys know, for the last 3 or 4 years, Gibson have refreshed lots of their guitars around about this time every year.
Little spritz, little polish. Yeah, that's better. Feel better than that? Put some 7-Up.
Yeah. So September 2018 with Chappers and the Captain will be largely focused on what is coming from Gibson in their core USA line. So the basic USA Les Pauls, SGs, Vs, Firebirds, and Dora the Explorers. You now know who Dora the Explorer is.
I absolutely know who Dora
Obviously.
is. I also know how to say the alphabet and count.
In what?
In children speak, American children speak on the Cartoon Network.
Oh.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
And you
A, and then you get to Z.
I know. And then, and then when you're British, you're going, I have to say Z, even though it doesn't rhyme.
I had a physical reaction. I was like,
There are, how many guitars in the range? A few, but not as many as last year, because the theme really for 2018 is Gibson have been listening. Yeah. They have been taking on board the constructive criticisms that people like to make about other people's guitar brands.
Right.
And they've said, okay, let's maybe reduce the number of options number of guitars where the HP model is available. Right. Let's change the colours up so that the sort of the colours are more kind of correct for the types of models. So like modern models have modern kind of vibe colours and traditional.
So more what you would expect to see on the particular shape.
I think so. There's good news for left-handed people, as the whole range is available in left-handed at no surcharge. So whatever we talk about here is left-handed. And there's kind of not been a massive spec change between 2017 and 2018. So kind of good news for anyone that's got a 2017 guitar, because you're not going to be thinking, I didn't get this feature or whatever.
Well, I mean, by now, I think guitar players are used to the fact that every year, if it's like 2018, they had 18 new guitars. And so you kind of...
Yeah, it's
and
kind
then
of...
19 new guitars.
So we're going to start with, I guess, what are the two flagship models of the range, which are the Les Paul Standard and the Les Paul Traditional. And I'm going to say, first of all, that I just want to throw this out there. I think for the first time, really, since this whole traditional standard HP thing was all available, in my mind now, I'm completely clear that actually, if you want a Les Paul Standard, but when you imagine a Les Paul Standard, you think about the 58 or the 59 or the guitar that, Slash is always famous playing, or what, Gary Moore, all those kind of guys. You actually don't want a Les Paul Standard.
I absolutely know what you mean. There's Les Paul Standard, the icon, the concept that was original, that made it and did the thing, and then there's the current Les Paul Standard.
Yes. So really, what Gibson, I think, have made their mind up, and it's taken them, I think, a few years, or maybe they knew it, but they didn't explain it to the public terribly well, so we didn't know it. But the Les Paul Standard of the 2018 range, and probably for the year or two before as well, is very much paying homage to the sort of innovation that Les Paul brought to the company. So the Les Paul Standard is the one where they're going to go, let's just try stuff. Let's do weird things. Oh, let's do stuff with the pickups.
Do you know what it all does?
Let's try the elliptical neck carve. Let's put the locking machine heads on it. Let's give the customers an HP option on the Les Paul Standard. So HP, of course, gives you your automatic tuning and your different heel joint and the slightly wider neck. You know, let's be bold and experimental and innovative with the Les Paul Standard.
And take away the little tiny...
Yeah, just, it doesn't
chip.
matter, because it's almost like, so what, it doesn't have a poker chip on it, because it's not trying to be a guitar from 1958 or 59. It's trying to be an innovative guitar. The traditional, though, that's the guitar you want. So if you are a guy that's sort of, I've always wanted a Les Paul Standard because, and then in your mind you're thinking of all your favourite players from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and da-da-da-da, don't go and buy a Les Paul Standard. Try a Les Paul Standard because you might like it, but you
probably want to try
don't
Tradish
feel disappointed or feel like somehow you didn't get the guitar you wanted.
But to get the actual Les Paul Standard that people think of, it's a custom shop, isn't it? Really?
Well, if you want to go properly,
like a 60s standard,
correct, and all that kind of stuff, you have to go custom shop. But the traditional is the unashamedly old-fashioned spec'd Les Paul.
Doesn't feel old-fashioned to play. I mean, you got this giant thickness on the body, which, to be honest, I'm really enjoying.
Yeah.
Because when you play your filthy notes, it's a filthy note for as long as you'd like it to be a filthy note, and you know it's got the little poker chip and beautiful quilty top and everything, and a binding and all the bits and sort of things you're used to and familiar with, the classic tuners. You know, all the bits that you think you'd love and want, but then it feels like a modern shred machine.
Yeah, I mean, the big difference when you just pick these two up is the traditional is the heavier of the two model, because they're not messing with the weight relief. I'm not messing with
not
it.
a lot.
No, not a lot. This isn't chambered as such. This just has some weight relief. That doesn't. So no weight relief on the traditional. It's got the traditional nut width that you'd expect to get. It's got the double A flame tops. So you get a little bit more flame if you do go up to the standard, but you've got a sort of, I guess, reminiscent of the types of bursts that you might have got on older Les Pauls.
But then again, we have to say,
so
when we're talking about double and triple A flame, of course that varies. And I mean, this is really flamey. And if you get it from the angle of the player, this is mega flame right here.
Mega flame.
Mega flame. It's like a special power that you'd expect to have in a superhero. But from the front, you'd be forgiven to thinking it's regular double.
Yeah.
Triple double.
Binding goes over the frets. That's a traditional feature as opposed to the HP feature where the frets go over the binding. What's the key sort of stuff on this really? I mean, what pickups are on it? Let's have a little...
What's your neck joint like?
If you haven't noticed... so we've got burst bucker 1 and burst bucker 2 on here. So we've got the same neck joint. I've not got an HP model. So we'll come on to that in a minute. Now, last year, one of the things that I think confused everybody, and I don't think was a terribly popular model anyway, was that the traditional came as you had an option to have a high performance version of it. That option is no more, because it's a bit like it's not supposed to have a...
Hey, it's just more.
It's no more.
More is more.
No, more is more. It's no more. So this is, if you want a traditional, a Les Paul traditional, you've got some couple of different color options, which you'll see on the screen now. You've got left-handed or right-handed options for the same price. It comes with the case that everybody knows and loves and would expect to get with a sort of a Les Paul standard. And it sounds great, but do some tones, Rob.
I'm going to do some tones for you, Lee, using the Mark V Mesa Boogie. I've had a little thing about Mesa Boogie.
Yeah.
I was watching a rig rundown of Kim Thayil from Soundgarden and Chris Cornell, and remembering how great Rebecca Dirks was. And they were using some boogie stuff, and I thought, that just sounds amazing. It's been a while since I boogied up. So, got one out.
Gonna boogie.
Gonna boogie.
Observation.
Yeah.
Now you've got no coil taps or no funky, none of the knobs on the traditional pull out or do anything like that. However,
the traditional pull out.
Do experiment. If you go back to your neck pickup and just say roll the volume down, say.
So here's full. Backed off.
It's a very different tone. It's not only is it not as loud, but it's softer. Some of the trebles rolled off, and I think there are a lot of color palettes within just a les. You don't have to have all the. That's the blow switch on the back, which I keep forgetting.
Because I know what this is going to do with that.
There's a lot of palettes within a regular Les Paul. If you just fiddle with,
for example,
with the tone and the
let's
volume
whack off some of the tone, and back the volume off, but make it a dirty beast, and see what that does.
So it sounds great, and so I said I think that's the main message that I want to get across in the sort of the 2018 video, which is really just to go, look, if you want a Les Paul Standard, and again, everything that's driving you to want that Les Paul Standard is because of like artists that you've liked from a bygone era.
Yeah, probably you want the tradition.
Is there much of a thickness difference?
No, it feels quite.
It's not. I think in years gone by, the traditional has used a chunkier neck carve, more reminiscent of like a 58 neck carve. It's not.
It's just a little
chunky.
bit more than a 60s. I mean, 60s, 50s. These terms are just thrown around.
Yeah, it's the thinner end of the Les Paul spectrum.
Yeah,
great guitar, and is going to cost you just under £2,000. So, I don't know where value is all relative, isn't it? I mean, if you think about what a Fender Elite Strat is going to cost you nowadays, that's £1,700.
Well, in part you're paying for a great brand as well, aren't you? You're paying for the fact you pick it up and you go, I've got a Gibson.
Yeah.
You go down 10 Delamere Road and talk to Jane Gooding from a sweet shop in Penzance, Cornwall, and you go, if you had a Gibson, she'll go, only a Gibson.
Right. Do you want a quart of Gibson gobstoppers? That's what they probably say.
Only English people will know where that accent comes from. Hagrid.
So yeah, it's a cool guitar. Some nice colours, which, as I said, you've either had on the screen already, or perhaps they'll come.
Do we know what colour this is? I'm thinking it's like a
tobacco burst?
Tobacco-y tea thing.
Yeah, it's pretty pretty, isn't it?
I
really
like
like that. So, however, if you are
If you want a whistles and bells type vibe,
still thinking to yourself, no, I kind of dig the whole innovation thing. I want to see and try, maybe a slightly more modern take on a Les Paul. Then you want to look at the standard, or if you're feeling really adventurous, and we don't have one here today, so you'll just have to look at some pictures that appear on the screen, you might want to look at the high performance version of the standard. Now, actually, to the sort of the naked eye, the standard doesn't really look terribly different to the traditional. In fact, about the only thing that you'll really see different here is the machine heads are
the carve looks different on the top.
The carve is the same. It must
Is it really?
be the colour that's affecting that.
Huh.
However, it is a slightly different, as well as the locking tuners, it is a slightly different neck carve, still fairly thin. It's called, it's the elliptical neck carve, which is where, if I've explained this before, but if you look at my kind of hand, you'll notice that it, the way you would grip a neck, it is more rounded on the thumb side and slightly fatter.
Sorry.
It's amazing, isn't it? I know what Danish Pete is. He can't help himself. Is there a vibe going on? Okay.
No, I just love.
So please, just imagine my hand holding a neck as opposed to being inserted.
I was thinking
in
about Dexter,
anus, and then you won't laugh. So imagine the elliptical neck carve is kind of designed to be a little flatter on the finger side and a little rounder on the thumb side. You may or may not find that more comfortable. You may or may not be able to say the word elliptical neck carve without laughing through a smutty thought. But
so anyway, impressed that you could say elliptical neck carve so many times.
If I remember rightly, it's the compound radius fretboard as well on here, although don't shoot me if I've got that wrong. And then we are into the different electrics. So if I go to a cleaner sort of tone on my guitar.
What amp are you using, Lee?
I am using a Marshall 2525, the Jubilee. So just like Rob, I can get different sounds by rolling the tones and volumes. But I also have coil taps. I have the neck phase reversal, which puts the neck pickup, it reverse winds the neck pickup, which means when I use it in conjunction with the bridge pickup, instead of getting a tone where the two sort of work together, I get this effect of almost fighting against each other, which people call that the Peter Green thing. That's the old myth of Peter had his guitar serviced and the tech wired the pickup in the wrong way round, and all of a sudden he had this unique sound that no one else had. So you can do that. And then the fourth and final one is, I call it a blow switch. I think Gibson called it something else, but effectively the idea is if I've got a sound where I'm using the volume rolled back, maybe some of the coil taps, and I just want to very quickly go to my full blast bridge pickup with everything turned up to the max, I can just pull this control out. And it basically does that for me.
Pop it and lock it.
I've also got, if I remember rightly, the option to take the cavity cover off here. And I've got some dip switches that allow me to, again, change different tones about the sort of pickups and stuff. So I've got a lot more that I can fiddle around with if I want to. The HP version, which if you'll see on screen now, cosmetically, that's much more, I say much more different than last year. It instantly looks very different because, as you can see, they've removed the pickup rings. So the pickups are mounted directly into the guitar.
Interesting.
There's no pickup ring. Again, there's no poker chip. So it kind of looks, you are seeing more of the wood. It looks, it's one of those looks, you're either going to see it and go, oh yeah, or you're going to go, ooh, no.
The thing is, you've seen it, so you're referencing something that people at home are seeing, and I haven't seen it.
Yeah, okay, I'll find you a picture on here, Rob, of what it looks like. We can get the instant reaction. There it is.
Nice.
So,
wow.
Ignore the colour, it's not the greatest colour.
That orange colour looks sick, though.
HP, obviously, so you've got all the features that you had from last year's HP, like the automatic, the sort of mechanically automatic tuners called G-Force, the wider neck, and I guess probably its most popular feature, which is the
source setting.
What do you call the sort of the heel joint? Like
it was an HP source choke, Lee, and you let it go straight by.
Totally, the HP brown source setting.
Absolutely, sorry. Fine. Brown sound, There's so many things we could have done with that.
What you'll also see as well is that and again, hopefully Rory can put some colours on the screen now, but the traditional has more traditional colours. The Les Paul Standard traditional spec has a mix of kind of traditional and sort of more contemporary colours, and then kind of like the HP version is really all contemporary colours, or much more selection of contemporary colours. Anyway.
Which is cool. That's exciting.
So that's really part one of our Gibson Les Paul for 2018 video.
I am sorry if you're not a Gibson fan. I'm very sorry for you, because why wouldn't you be a Gibson fan? And also I'm sorry if we're going to just churn out loads of Gibson videos, but we like Gibson.
Well,
and also there are a lot of new Gibson guitars.
It is.
So it's kind of cool to do it,
It's one of those things where you sit there and go, it's I don't know if it's the biggest guitar company in the world. If it isn't, because Fender are, then it'll be narrowly the second biggest company. But it's Fender and Gibson are the iconic ones. So when Gibson come along and go, here's a whole new range, we kind of have to do it justice and sort of go, let's show you that. So yeah, September on Andertons TV, most of the videos you're going to see with me and Rob is going to be talking about the Gibson range. All the other presenters are doing their usual stuff, so it won't be a complete bombardment of Gibson.
And if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah. What else is there to really tell you? Same idea. You get this lovely, lovely case with the guitar I'm holding. And then if you buy the HP version of it, I believe it's still that sort of metallic kind of case that looks like the power band. I can never remember the name of it. Airstream. The Airstream. So
there you go. Let's
for
jam
the
out, bro.
last video, we're going to swap guitars.
Are we?
Yeah. So you can hear the standard through the Boogie and the traditional through the Marshall. Rob isn't using any pedals.
Nope.
Which is great. I'm using...
When you got a Boogie with a million switches, you don't need any pedals.
I'm not using any pedals for gain. I'm using an EP Boost for just to fatten my lead sound up, and I'm using a Boss Reverb pedal and an MXR delay pedal, although I don't think I actually switched the delay pedal on in the last jam. Maybe I'll remember in this one. So, yes, I hope you've enjoyed this little video. Next up, stay tuned, because we'll do the classic and the studio. And the classic is rather sexy this year, quite different from last year. Totally forgot to tell you, if you want a Les Paul Standard, expect to part with about £2,500. And if you want the HP version of that, it's going to go up to just under 3,000. So there you go. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Andertons Guitar YouTube channel. If you're a drummer or a keyboard player or interested in music technology, you might find one of our other channels interesting, and I'll put details of those in the description below. If you want to find out more about the products we've just featured, please click here. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt like this, please click here. If you want to watch another video on our guitar channel, click down here. And to subscribe to our guitar channel, click here. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.